Swing on, hit to the gap in right center field. That ball's a laser shot as well. Giddy up, God! A home run by Big G!
What if I told you that on a single night in Major League Baseball, we witnessed a legendary duel for the ages between two pitchers who might just be holding the Cy Young Award at the end of the season? And what if I told you that on that same night, the New York Yankees didn't just hit a home run, or two, or three, but went back to back to back as part of a historic home run barrage that tied their franchise record? That's not all. The epic race for the home run crown got even tighter, with Kyle Schwarber tying a record set by the legendary Sammy Sosa, only to have Shohei Ohtani match him hours later with a laser beam of his own. Last night was pure baseball chaos, and we're going to break down every single moment. You have found the best place for in-depth baseball news, and this is an episode you don't want to miss. Welcome to Baseball Extra. Let's get right into the action. Folks, let's start in Detroit, where we were treated to one of those matchups you circle on your calendar. This wasn't just another game. This was a heavyweight title fight on the pitcher's mound. You had two first-place teams, the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros, but the real story was the men on the hill. Tarik Skubal for the Tigers versus Hunter Brown for the Astros. This was a showdown of aces, a true battle for pitching supremacy. Coming into the game, Tarik Skubal was making a serious case for the American League Cy Young Award. The man was sitting on an 11-3 record with a sparkling 2.42 ERA, leading the entire league. He's been electric all season, just mowing down hitters with a devastating combination of his fastball and off-speed pitches. On the other side, you have the Astros' Hunter Brown, pitching in his home state of Michigan, which always adds a little extra motivation. And he was right there with Skubal, boasting a 10-5 record and a 2.45 ERA. The numbers were almost identical. It was strength against strength, and we, the fans, were the winners. We all hoped for a classic pitcher's duel, and what we got was a masterpiece. For 7 breathtaking innings, Tarik Skubal was simply untouchable. He was in complete command. He scattered just 3 hits and 2 walks, but the big number was the strikeouts. He punched out 10 Astros batters, and with that 10 strikeout, he became the first pitcher in the American League to reach 200 strikeouts on the season. That is a massive milestone and a huge feather in his cap for the Cy Young race. He was masterful, leaving the Houston hitters completely baffled. But Hunter Brown did not back down an inch. Pitching in front of his friends and family, he matched Skubal 0 for 0. He went 6 scoreless innings himself, striking out 6 Tigers and skillfully navigating his way out of any potential trouble. The Tigers lineup couldn't solve him. He was poised, he was focused, and he showed why the Astros have so much faith in him. So after 6 innings, the score was 0-0. After 7, when Skubal's night was done, still 0-0. The bullpens came in and held the line. The tension in that ballpark must have been incredible. Every pitch felt like the most important pitch of the game. The hitters on both sides looked like they were still seeing ghosts from the starters. The game went into extra innings, still tied at 0. The Astros couldn't score their runner from second in the top of the 10th. Then, in the bottom of the 10th, the Tigers managed to load the bases with 2 outs. The stage was set for a dramatic game-winning hit. The crowd was on its feet, ready to explode. And the game ended with a walk-off walk. Yes, you heard that right. After a game defined by incredible pitching and pinpoint control, it ended on 4 balls. It's an anticlimactic way to win, for sure, but a win is a win, and the Tigers poured out of the dugout to celebrate. For the Tigers, it's their 8th win in their last 10 games as they continue to lead their division. But for the Astros, this was a historically frustrating night. This loss marked the 3rd straight game where they have been shut out. Their offense, one of the most feared in baseball, has not scored a run in 28 consecutive innings. That is an unbelievable statistic for a team of their caliber. A tough night for Houston, but a legendary one for pitching fans everywhere. All right, let's move from a game with no runs to a game that had all of them. Over in Tampa, the New York Yankees reminded the entire league why they are called the Bronx Bombers. Lately, even though they lead all of baseball in home runs, the Yankees haven't quite had that explosive, intimidating feel. Their game against the Rays on Tuesday started off quietly. Trent Grisham struck out, and you could almost hear a collective sigh from Yankees fans thinking, "Here we go again." And then, Aaron Judge stepped up to the plate. Boom! A high fly ball to deep center field that just kept carrying. a laser shot right off the batter's eye. That was Judge's 40th home run of the season, giving the Yankees a 1-0 lead. Reaching 40 home runs is incredible, but for Judge, it marked his fourth career season with 40 or more homers. That ties him with the legendary Mickey Mantle and puts him in the company of only Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig in Yankees history. Truly elite company. But the party was just getting started. The very next batter was Cody Bellinger. See ya. A high drive to right field, and it's gone. Bellinger follows Judge with a home run of his own, and just like that, it's 2-0 Yankees. The dugout was electric. But surely, it couldn't happen a third time in a row. Could it? Unbelievable. Back to back to back. Stanton launches one to right center field, and the Yankees have hit 3 consecutive home runs to start the game. The Rays' pitcher didn't know what hit him. This was the third time this season the Yankees have accomplished this incredible feat. To put that in perspective, only 2 other teams in the entire history of Major League Baseball have ever done that 3 times in a single season. We are witnessing a truly historic home run hitting team. But 3 home runs wasn't nearly enough for them. They were just getting warmed up. The Bombers would go on to hit 9 total home runs in the game. 9. That ties the franchise record, which they just set earlier this year. They are the first team in MLB history to have 2 games with 9 homers in a single season. Let's run through the list. Cody Bellinger hit a second one to give him 24 on the year. Giancarlo Stanton also hit his second of the night. Jose Caballero, not known for his power, hit 2 of his own. Jazz Chisholm Jr. got in on the fun with his 22nd, and Ben Rice added his 19th. It was a relentless offensive assault. Of course, you can't score 13 runs without a solid performance on the mound, and Carlos Rodon delivered exactly that. He pitched 6 strong innings, giving up just 2 runs, which allowed the offense to relax and swing for the fences. The final score was 13-3. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. With both the Red Sox and Mariners losing, this massive victory puts the Yankees all alone in the top of wildcard spot. This is the version of the Yankees that can win a World Series, and they put the entire league on notice. Let's head over to the National League now, where the Philadelphia Phillies have their own special recipe for success. It usually involves dominant pitching and, you guessed it, a Kyle Schwarber home run. On Tuesday, the starting pitcher was Christopher Sanchez, who has been quietly brilliant for the Phillies all year. Entering his start against the Mariners, he had an 11-4 record with a 2.45 ERA, the third best in the NL, and the good times kept unrolling for the big left-hander. Sanchez was absolutely dealing. He went 6 1/3 innings, giving up just 2 runs while striking out a whopping 12 batters. He was in total control. But as a pitcher, you still need your offense to back you up. And when your name is Christopher Sanchez, you're lucky enough to have a guy in your lineup who seems to hit a home run every single day. Kyle Schwarber. There it is. A solo shot to right field, and Schwarber has done it again. That was his 44th home run of the year, which ties him for the National League lead. But this homer was extra special. It marked the 15th consecutive series in which Kyle Schwarber has hit a home run. That extends his own Phillies franchise record. But get this. That streak ties him with Sammy Sosa from his legendary 1998 season for the second longest streak in MLB history. The only player with a longer streak is Mark McGwire. Anytime you're in the same sentence as Sosa and McGwire from the summer of '98, you are doing something incredible. This is one of the most amazing MLB highlights of the entire season. The game itself was a battle. After Sanchez left, the Mariners fought back to tie it at 4. But in the bottom of the 8th, JT Realmuto stepped up and delivered the finishing blow, a go-ahead 2-run homer to give the Phillies the 6-4 win. It was a huge victory that keeps them comfortably ahead in the NL East. The Phillies just keep finding ways to win. Now it's time to whip around the league for the rest of Tuesday's biggest stories. First up, in Colorado, Shohei Ohtani continues to do things that just don't seem real. Just hours after Kyle Schwarber hit his 44th home run, Ohtani stepped up and did this. What a rocket. A 115.9-mile-per-hour laser beam that flew out of the park. That is home run number 44 for Shohei Ohtani, and he is now tied with Schwarber for the NL lead. Those 44 homers are also the most by a Dodgers player through 126 games in their storied history. The Dodgers beat the Rockies 11-4. And by the way, Ohtani is scheduled to pitch tomorrow. It's just another day at the office for a living legend. Don't look now, but the Kansas City Royals are on fire. They won their fifth straight game, beating the Rangers 5-2. Seth Lugo was brilliant on the mound, giving up just 2 runs, while Vinny Pasquantino and Bobby Witt Jr. provided the power. The Royals are now just 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. They are making a serious late season push. Up in Toronto, the Blue Jays got a 7-3 win over the Pirates. George Springer hit his 20th homer of the year, and the ageless wonder, 40-year-old Max Scherzer, gave up just 1 run over 6 fantastic innings. The Jays stay 5 games up in first place in the AL East. There was a big doubleheader in the NL Central, where the Chicago Cubs swept the Milwaukee Brewers. This was a huge statement, as it was the Brewers' first back-to-back losses in almost a month. The big story for the Cubs was their top prospect, Pete Crow Armstrong, who had 4 RBIs across the 2 games, including his first ever Major League home run. The future is bright in Chicago, as they hold onto the first wild-card spot in the NL. The New York Mets crushed the Nationals 8-1. David Peterson was dominant, striking out 10 over 8 innings, and the offense hit 4 homers, including Juan Soto's 31st. They're holding on to that third wild-card spot. However, they got some terrible news as their star catcher, Francisco Alvarez, went on the injured list with a thumb sprain. They hope he can be back for the stretch run, but that is a massive loss for the Mets. The Atlanta Braves pulled off an incredible comeback. They were down 10-4 in the 7th inning to the White Sox, but stormed all the way back to win 11-10. Jurickson Profar got the game-winning hit, completing the Braves' second comeback of 6 or more runs in just the last week. Never count them out. And finally, the Cincinnati Reds are staying right in the thick of the wild card race. They topped the Angels 6-4, thanks to another stellar performance from Hunter Green. He struck out 12 batters and now holds an incredible 2.63 ERA. The Reds are just 1 game behind the Mets for that final playoff spot. It's going to be a photo finish. So, what should you be watching for today? Well, that incredible series in Detroit continues. You'll have Framber Valdez on the mound for the Astros as they desperately try to score a run, taking on Charlie Morton and the first-place Tigers. That's an afternoon game you can catch on MLB Network. But the main event tonight? It has to be the Shohei Ohtani show in Colorado. After hitting his 44th home run last night, he takes the mound to pitch against the Rockies. Pitching in the thin air of Coors Field is a massive challenge for any pitcher. Can he dominate on the mound while also being a threat to hit another 500-foot home run at the plate? You'll want to tune in for that one on MLB.tv. And that is all the action we have for you today on Baseball Extra. What a night of baseball it was. From one of the best pitching duels you will ever see to a historic home run explosion, this is why we love this game. If you love getting all the latest baseball news and enjoy deep dives into the best MLB highlights, do me a huge favor and hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new here and you want to join our community of passionate baseball fans, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. I want to hear from you in the comments. Who is your pick for the Cy Young right now? Is it Tarik Skubal or someone else? Let me know down below. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Enjoy all the games, and we'll see you next time on Baseball Extra.